Asja Wilson is a beautiful 26-year-old woman. She did all the things a typical person would do when starting their young adult life.
Growing up, I was always into sports and running around and stuff, so I played soccer for 9 years. And pretty much never at home, always on the go, working, hanging out with friends, going out. All the basic stuff we all do when we're younger.
But after a horrible car wreck in 2010, things changed drastically.
My pain was in my lower back, and I'd get shooting pain down my left leg from a result of nerve pain, a nerve being pinched in my lower back. I'd have the nerve pain on a daily basis, so when I'd walk around or walk any type of long distance, I'd walk around squeezing my leg. That was the only way I could walk around. At first, when I started seeing doctors for my back, I started going in for back injections where they put the needles in your disc and, they try to stop the inflammation and all that, but nothing ever worked for me. So then it was surgery after that, and I could still never get relief from the pain. And the first surgery I had, out of 4 total, they just cut off the protrusions I had in my lower back, but I still felt the same pain. Nothing ever changed after that. So it was a little bit of disappointing at first, and then having to go again for other surgeries after that. It was like nothing was helping at first.
Still seeking relief from her unresolved pain, she met with a second surgeon who recommended a fusion.
In Texas, I had found a surgeon, and he wanted to fuse my spine so that the discs weren't protruding anymore. So they ended up fusing that. They put a rod on each side with 3 screws. It was still the same after that. I didn't have any type of relief from the pain.
Studies have shown about 65% of patients who undergo a 1-level open back fusion surgery continue to experience pain well after their procedures. Because of the frequency of the problem, the medical industry has defined it as failed back surgery syndrome.
Yeah, it was just weird how it happened, like why I had nerve pain before and then how this was still making me have nerve pain. I think after they did the fusion, it probably wasn't there, but they just stuck the screw in and kind of didn't look what they were doing. I'm sure they obviously see a nerve there, and then the nerve is just in between the little screws right here. I was basically limited to doing stuff, having the hardware back there. So, like moving around and everything, it was like, I couldn't really do much.
As her condition worsened, Asja started doing less, opting rather to stay in instead of going out to be with her friends and family.
I had more back injections without success after that. Doctor visits every month, for the past 7 years, so it's just been a roller coaster ride. I didn't really go out anymore after that. I didn't hang out. I always was like a homebody after that. So I never wanted to really do anything because I'd be slowing everybody else down, having to stop or sit there and complain about my back hurting.
Luckily, her father discovered the Bonati Spine Institute and encouraged her to reach out for more information.
I first heard about Bonati through my dad. He wanted to try to help me and finding a good place to get a procedure done that might have more success than the previous ones I've had in the past. And it actually turned out great for me doing that. I called the office, set up a consultation. And then once I went down there and talked to the doctors and looked at my back and told them about my previous surgeries with no success, then that's when they figured I'd be a good candidate for their surgery. And I talked to Dr. Grossmith. He went over everything with me, had me do a scan so they can see everything that's going on in there, had everything cut up into pieces so they could see every little individual part of my back. He pulled up my images in the office and basically showed me all my problems, like why I was getting that nerve pain, because one of the screws was still hitting my nerve, even though the nerve was already kind of out of whack from the beginning. And once he took that screw out, it was like no more pain down my leg.
The Bonati Spine Institute holds 7 U.S. patents on its instrumentation and procedures, including those required for removing spinal hardware. Asja had 2 Bonati spinal hardware removal procedures and is finally feeling some much-needed relief.
Well, the whole staff was really supportive. They wanted to make sure you were comfortable. If you had any questions that you were concerned about, they'd answer them. And so it was just nice, being there and having people that care for you and actually treat you nice instead of just, in and out. We had a good time. It was laughter and stuff in there, so they're like, oh, that's good, you're laughing after surgery. And I'm like, well, I don't feel that bad. Because my other previous surgeries, I was in so much pain after have to stay in the hospital for 3 days after my fusion. So it was just nice being able to go home the same day and have relief after that. The recovery was pretty easy. I was able to walk around after surgery with no problem. It was a little bit stiff at first after any surgery. In the recovering room after the procedure, they kind of get you up, have you walk around before you end up leaving to make sure everything's working right and you're actually able to walk. So after I had the procedure done with Bonati, it basically just went away after that. The spinal fusion that I had in 2015 was a year recovery with using a walker, not being able to lift up my legs, so it was just, walking kind of like a penguin for a little while.
She shows us some of the hardware Dr. John Grossmith removed from her lumbar spine.
They had to cut this one up because he couldn't get it out at first. Nice just having a little cut that big instead of 6 inches. Since they took the rods on the left side, I can actually bend to my left, that I can't bend to my right because the rod's, just stiffening everything up in there.
Traditional open back surgery is unpredictable by nature. But for those in pain, even after surgeries from other facilities, there is still hope.
I got relief that my other 2 surgeons couldn't help me with. So it was nice having, a place where you can go and actually not have any pain. It's just nice waking up every day without feeling shooting pains down your leg and having to squeeze your leg to walk around. So it made a really good improvement on my life after that.